I said, oh, I can video like this. What is going on YouTube? This is your boy SJ coming back again with some more DD2. Today is just going to be a Cannonball build that I've been using. Hopefully I do enjoy this build. Basically how to build a Cannonball build Squire. I'm missing some stuff in this build. I will tell you about that as we go through the gear. But as we see there, a nice little 600k DPS with about, what was that? 4, 5, 6 cannons, so that's pretty good DPS with Cyclone enabled. I'm at about 300 fully upgraded. Let's see how much DPS they tell you what DPS they do, about 10,000 DPS, so 10,056 DPS, which is pretty nice. Can't go wrong there. There you go, 18 actually does more DPS than it actually is saying. See, I'm getting 20s in there. Is that my crits? Are those my crits in there? Is crit damage actually showing in game? Yeah, see that 22 in there, random 22. So does crit damage show in game? Is that my weapon critting? Who knows? But let's sell that and go over my gear now. Weapons that I use. I do have this weapon that I've been using, but it's alright. Now, this is the other weapon that I find more build friendly in my opinion because of the cell shock. It gives your cannonballs a stun chance of 60%. Only bad thing, it didn't roll defensive power. I'll take defensive crit chance. It gives me that much more damage. I have been hitting over about 100k with this weapon enabled and all my crit damage. But I do like using this one for the Splotty Harpoon and the extra defensive power. It does bring my cannonballs over 10k. With this weapon, I'm at about 9k. I will show you guys that real quick. You see about 9k, but that crit damage went up to 11. So as you see there, that was a crit because it's hitting for 24. So it is showing up. I wish they would change it to red in Tavern, because hero damage crits don't show, but I guess defensive crits do show. So that's pretty good. As you see, a little bit more damage, 3k more damage with this weapon, but I do drop under 15 initial attack damage. Initial attack damage was 1500 with the other weapon, but I do gain some stuff, so it's like a trade-off. I can trade off the stun for about 1,000 more damage per second, or I can keep the stun and gain more crit damage and be able to crit harder and more often, but I'm also going to not be able to use Splotty Harpoon as much as I want, or Speedy Harpoon, because I'm not going to have the passive. So this is a really good one. Also, I switch back and forth depending on what map I'm playing, how I'm feeling that day. But obviously you want IronCore, Shell Shock, and defensive crit chance. Shields, they need to make a shield, a tower shield or something that rolls tower stats. That would be nice, but hero damage, physical, nothing really helps the build from here. This is just my hero shield. From here, defensive power and defensive health. I would have liked defensive crit chance instead of defensive health on all my gear, so I'm gonna tell you that right now. Defensive power, defensive crit chance is my GG build that I want to do. I really don't want defensive health, but as you see here, we got defensive crit chance, automation, and IronCore. Instead of automation, I would like vector correction. I do believe the name of it is, or I do believe it's vector correction. Increases projectile tower's range, so my cannonballs can shoot more range, and my ballistas and so forth will have more range. I would like that. I would like that on this too, instead of hardy blockade, along with defensive crit instead of defensive health. And along with that, I would like that here. Instead of footloose, I would like auto correction so my cannonballs can have more range. But these have been working really well. I've been using this along with the shatter effect that you get when you freeze enemies with purge. So it's been working pretty good on your physical resist lanes. I mean, not your physical resist, your magic resist lanes on Nightmare 4. Not Incursion, but Nightmare 4 in-game. 1000 item power Nightmare 4. Now these gloves had a chance to be great, but they didn't roll what I wanted. They rolled perfectly on top, perfectly main stats, defensive crit, and finger long, no, obviously, and service call. I need IronCore on this, and that will definitely help my DPS if I get IronCore gloves. Now with this is a really good roll. Obviously another piece of gear that could have used tower range instead of automation for my walls. This is like, obviously I heard hardy blockades getting a reamp, the whole thing, because with Loop V2, Hardy blockade became just impossible to find because you couldn't find defensive health with hero health like you wanted to. But this is a pretty good thing. I'll use this. They're all not GG, but close to GG, but just a little bit missing. Gotta really farm for that perfect roll. Now my pet is an auto meow for that cyclone, for that increased tower damage for a couple of seconds, running defensive crit damage and defensive power on that, which is nice. I might be able to actually drop defensive crit damage because I'm getting so much from this, and throw defensive power, just 2 defensive power upgrades. Maybe, we don't know. I'm still really testing it, but I'm really liking this build. It's been treating me well. Solo play, Nightmare 4 solo play. Sorry about that dog in the background. Neighbor's been stomping. They've been making so much noise, but that doesn't matter. We got Saber. Go through one more time. Shield, helm, chest, feet, boots, gloves, and medallion, along with pet. Well, hopefully you guys did enjoy this build. This is a very simple build. Now we're gonna go into stats. I'm ending the video and I'm not even done. The noise kind of messed up my train of thought there. Now let's go to the stats. Maxed in defensive power, defensive speed, 30 in crit damage, and max in range. Now, you see with this weapon that I'm using, I can actually drop this crit. With my other weapon, I need this to hit 30% crit damage, so I can actually drop that and gain another 10%, and I'll actually still be over 30% crit damage. So that's another thing. Always look at what you're doing so you can actually drop. You don't have to run all crit across and so forth to hit that mark, because with the cannons I didn't need to. I hit crit damage without this and I can run it pretty well. Just need this 3% here. Maybe if I get 3% somewhere else, or get max gear so I can have 30% easy, and I will drop this and I'll throw the other range in there. But I do need that for the 30% crit damage. I actually can throw a 2% on there. It really doesn't matter. But then we have speed, get your cannon shooting that much faster. Range, all projectile range. In this, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes I run this, sometimes I'll run this. Like these medium spheres I find need a revamp. Most of the time I will run this if I have a ballista, just for max damage. Max damage on that. And heavy ball cannon I do not use. For a noober, it is pretty bad. Not pretty bad, it is bad. The area hit is weak. The cannons don't hit hard enough. It's just, you can barely do Nightmare 3 with heavy ball cannons. I mean, it's kind of a joke, the heavy ball cannon, or along with the shielding wave. Like his waving shield should shield himself. Why does it shield towers? That's the only reason why I haven't bought in the shielding wave for the monk, because it does towers instead of him. If you're going DPS, wouldn't you want the shield to shield? Put a shield over you, maybe for like 1900% hero health, or 1900% ability power, 1900% hero damage, like something so that the monk can stay alive, because the monk doesn't have a secondary attack like a shield to block. So most of the time the monk gets one-shotted a lot in Nightmare 4. So he needs a shield. They need to go over that, fix the shielding wave Uber. But that's all monk. I should have went over that in my monk video, but I didn't. Alright, that was stats one more time for you guys. Shields, not shields, but stats one more time. Spheres one more time. And gear for the last. And then we're going to be done with this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. This is your boy SJ. Now I'm out.